Hey everybody, welcome to my part 2 of my favorite 80s favorite 80s horror movies. And I guess I'll just start moving along again. This next one is a 4-pack, but I consider it a 3-pack because I don't want one of the films in there that there is. But anyway, the first one is My Best Friend is a Vampire, and this is great 80s fun. This is just such a cheesy movie and such a fun movie to watch, and not so much horror, but it does have elements of it. It's a great vampire film. And the other two movies are 90s, and yeah, they're both 90s films, so I'll just block them out. But the other really good one on this one is Slaughter High, and another total fantastic slasher film. Like, it's a British film, and it's probably one of the only good British films I've seen in a while, and it's an older film, so I suppose the British still aren't doing so well by my standards, but I still love them. But anyway, this was a great film, and both of these were great. That one's cheesy, that one's kind of a serious slasher. It had some pretty good kills, and definitely recommend checking them out. See if you can buy them separately, because this 4-pack, well, actually this 4-pack is really good, because this is Repossessed is a 90s film, but it's very funny. So, yeah, that's that one. Next up is another fantastic slasher from Canada, My Bloody Valentine, the original. And I got this at Big Lots as well. It's amazing what you can find there because they sell a bunch of classics and pretty good packaging too, like good editions of the movies themselves. But yeah, that's My Bloody Valentine, Canadian slasher classic. I mean, lady getting killed in a washing or in a dryer. How great is that? And they just mocked it completely in the remake, but I hated the remake, to be honest. But this is great 80s gold right here. So yeah, definitely check this out if you have not. Next up is an instant classic. I first saw it and I was just in awe of how good it was. It's Night of the Creeps, and it's almost like a spoof film of every other film that has ever been made in like the genre of horror. It's got aliens, it's got slasher elements, it's got everything. It's got zombies, and I don't know. It was really cool though, and like I don't want to say much about it because I'd probably ruin it because the storyline has so much going on. But you know, definitely check out Night of the Creeps. This is just amazing, like phenomenal film. And yeah, there's the back. I got this at Walmart, I believe, for like $5. And yeah, very good film. Definitely go check that out. Next up, this came at the end of the 80s. Stephen King's Pet Sematary. This was also a very good film. Definitely recommend checking it out. And if you've read the book, then the book is obviously going to be better. But this is also just a great film. And this is the special edition, I believe. Although I don't see what's so special about it. I mean, there's a bit of features and stuff, but yeah, it's just basically a regular release. But yeah, it's a very good film, and I highly recommend it. Next up, this was a movie that was like the only movie from the 80s in its franchise. It's Phantasm 2, and this is my favorite installment of Phantasm. And yeah, this was just great. This came out a while ago, I think, but yeah, not the best release, but it's got a bit of features and good stuff on there. Definitely, and even without it, it's a phenomenal film. Just go check out Phantasm, all of them, but this is my favorite, and it happens to be from the 80s. I think that's why it had that 80s charm to it. Next up, these three films are all from the 80s, and it's Poltergeist, Poltergeist 2, and Poltergeist 3. And even though I didn't like Poltergeist 2 all that much, Poltergeist, the first one, was fantastic. Just a great 80s, actually a good serious 80s horror film, and not so much even horror. It was very nice, and it left you with a good feeling at the end. But Poltergeist 2 was okay. Poltergeist 3 was scary as hell, and I loved it. It was very unique. Definitely go check all of them out, though. They're great films, even number 2. I gave it some shit, but, you know, looking back on it, it isn't all that bad. Next up, this film, I'm going to go ahead and just give this one. This was the only one from the 2 original films that was in the 80s. It's Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you have not seen this film, definitely check it out. A lot of people are against it. A lot of people love it. I myself love it. And it's a great, serious 80s movie with a bit of gore, a good storyline. This is the special edition, or yeah, an enhanced widescreen, or some. This is some sort of better edition than the normal, but this is a great film in my opinion. Like cool skinning scenes too. But yeah, definitely check out Predator if you have not. Next up are the Prom Night movies. The first Prom Night movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. This was a great one. I gotta say I like all the other ones better, but this was a great slasher film from the 80s, and I don't know, a lot of people will hate on this, say it's boring, and it is boring at a few parts, but it's still a great movie, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you have not. Next up is a total cheese fest. It's the sequel, Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou. And this was just great. It was creepy as fuck, but it still had a bit of cheese to it. It's such a fun watch, and definitely recommend it. It's really good. The next one, this is a 2-pack of Prom Night 3 and Prom Night 4. Prom Night 4 is from the 90s, so pretend that's not there and just think it's Prom Night 3. Prom Night 3 is, I believe, 88 or 89, but this is a great film too. Like, very fun. It's a comedy horror, and it's just awesome. Like, go check it out. It's got some good gore. It's got a funny-ass storyline, and just a great film. I think this is my favorite out of the Prom Nights. So yeah, go check those out. And like, this is the only edition of Prom Night 3 and 4. This is the only way they're released at the moment. So yeah, if you can find this, you're a lucky person. Next up are 2 awesome films, and I really gotta move along, so I'll just blast through these. I want to be able to talk about them more, but I just really don't have the time. But it's Return of the Living Dead movies, the first 2. First one is absolutely amazing. My favorite zombie film ever. It's a punk rock horror film, and just phenomenal. I guess I say that word a lot, and I mean it. Second one, not so much punk rock, but still an amazing zombie film with a lot of comedic elements. Not the best release. In fact, it's a pretty shitty release, but nevertheless, go check both of those out because they're both great films. Next up, at the beginning of the 80s, this came out. It's David Cronenberg's Scanners. This is also a great film. Also not the best releasing, but still a pretty good movie and like a real thinker. But definitely go check out Scanners. That's a great film as well. Next up is a comedy slasher. It's like a parody of all slashers from the 80s, Student Bodies. This is a great, funny film. This came out in 2008, this edition. I believe it's the first time it came out. And definitely go check out Student Bodies because it's a great film as well as like just total parody of all slashers from the 80s, and such a funny watch, and it's fantastic. Go check it out for sure. Next up, these 2 films here, Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Total classics in my opinion. First one is fantastic. I like the second one better, but this one's really good too. This is a really good release. It's got a little booklet inside and a lot of features. And it's Evil Dead 2. This is also great. You open this up and there's a chapter card in there. It's nice, and on the back it's got a lot of features as well. So go check these out. Evil Dead films are fantastic. I really got to move along because I got 4 more movies left. There's Monster Squad. This movie is also awesome. First time out on DVD because there was no demand for it until recently. But this is also a great film. Go check out Monster Squad. Go pick this up as soon as you can if you have not. If you don't have it or haven't seen it, because it's a great film. It's the best PG-13 horror film of the 80s. So definitely go check that out. Next up is an epic film. It's The Shining. And if you've not seen The Shining, you know nothing about horror, because this is a scary fucking movie. This is the 2-disc special edition. Great edition. A lot of stuff to it. I can't say much about it because I don't want to ruin it. Next up is The Thing. This is also the collector's edition. Some pretty good features on it as well. And not the best packaging, but it's still alright. Great film, great effects. Last film, I really got to fit this in quickly. It's Videodrome. Fantastic, but totally weird 80s film. And I can't really say much about it because I don't want to ruin it. But definitely go check out Videodrome. And, that's my 80s horror films. So, guess I'll see you later. Keep on creeping.